Task-oriented dialogue systems are designed to help users by handling requests through natural conversations, like assisting with customer service or travel planning. However, most of these systems generate responses that sound generic and robotic, lacking any personal touch that could make interactions feel more natural or engaging. This is where the new research paper on PicPersona-TOD comes in, introducing a dataset that uses user images to personalize how the system responds. The paper, titled PicPersona-TOD, a dataset for personalizing utterance style in task-oriented dialogue with image persona, is authored by Ji-Hyun Lee, Yijin Jaeon, Songyeon Seo, and Gary Junbae Lee from Postech in South Korea. They argue that current task-oriented dialogue systems, or TOD systems, focus mainly on getting the right information across but ignore the user's individual characteristics, such as their age, emotions, or even how they might prefer to be addressed. To break this down, a typical TOD system has three main parts. First, dialogue state tracking, which keeps track of what the user wants. Second, a policy module that decides what actions to take, like searching a database. And third, natural language generation, or NLG, which turns those decisions into actual spoken or written responses. The NLG part is what users interact with directly, so if it's bland or one-size-fits-all, it can make the whole experience feel impersonal and unappealing. The researchers point out that while some previous work has tried to add personalization, it's mostly been limited to text-based information, like noting a user's age or gender in the dialogue. For example, other studies have incorporated emotions or mimicked user phrases, but they don't go beyond words. In contrast, PicPersona-TOD takes a step forward by incorporating visual elements, specifically, user images, as part of the persona. This means the system can analyze things like facial expressions or apparent age from a photo to tailor responses in areas like greetings, formality, and emotional sensitivity. Imagine you're talking to a virtual assistant about booking a hotel. With PicPersona-TOD, if the system sees your image and detects that you look young and energetic, it might respond in a casual, friendly way, like, "Hey, I found some cool options for you." But if you appear older or in a more serious mood, it could switch to a more respectful tone, such as, "I've located several suitable accommodations for you, sir or madam." This personalization aims to make interactions more engaging and human-like, drawing from how people naturally read visual cues in real life. To create the PicPersona-TOD dataset, the team developed an automatic pipeline. It starts with analyzing the user's image to form first impressions, such as estimating age, gender, or emotional state using computer vision techniques. Then, they use dialogue policy-guided prompting, which means the system follows predefined rules or strategies from the TOD framework to guide how responses are generated. For instance, it might decide based on the policy whether to prioritize formality or friendliness. They also incorporate external knowledge to minimize hallucinations. Those are errors where the system makes up information that's not accurate. By cross-referencing with reliable sources, the responses stay factual while still being personalized. The dataset includes examples where user images influence the style of the dialogue, making it a rich resource for training better TOD systems. Human evaluations played a key role in validating this approach. Participants interacted with the system and reported that the personalized responses made conversations feel more natural and enjoyable. For example, users appreciated how the system adapted to their perceived age or emotions, leading to higher satisfaction ratings compared to standard, non-personalized TOD systems. Building on this, the researchers introduced a new natural language generation model called Pictor. Pictor not only personalizes responses based on image personas but also performs well in unseen domains, meaning it can handle new topics or scenarios that weren't in its original training data. This makes it more versatile and robust for real-world applications, where users might bring up unexpected requests. In the paper, they compare PicPersona-TOD to existing datasets, highlighting how traditional ones, shown in gray in their figures, lack this visual personalization. Figures in the paper illustrate this, with one showing an overview of the dataset generation pipeline and another depicting example dialogues. Overall, this work bridges the gap between task-oriented dialogues and more advanced persona integration seen in open-domain chat systems. By leveraging visionary personas, essentially, using images to understand users better, They address limitations in current TOD research. This could pave the way for more empathetic and effective dialogue systems in areas like customer service, healthcare, or education, where building a connection with the user is crucial. The authors emphasize that while visual personas have been used in chit-chat or counseling scenarios before, this is a first for task-oriented dialogues. They provide a GitHub link for the dataset, encouraging further exploration and development in the field. In terms of technical details, the paper discusses how they handled potential biases in image analysis, ensuring that the personalization doesn't reinforce stereotypes. They also cover metrics for evaluating the dataset, including response quality, personalization accuracy, and user engagement scores. Moving forward, this dataset could inspire new models that combine multimodal inputs, text, images, and possibly even audio, for even more immersive interactions. The Pictor model's ability to generalize across domains suggests it could be adapted for various languages or cultural contexts, making TOD systems more globally applicable. To sum up the methodology, the pipeline involves several steps: inputting user images, extracting features like age and emotion, integrating that with dialogue context, generating responses, and refining them with external checks. This holistic approach ensures that personalization enhances rather than disrupts the core functionality of TOD systems. Finally, the paper's contributions include not just the dataset itself but also insights into how visual cues can transform user experiences in practical applications, setting a new standard for personalized dialogue systems.